So as a result of really caring about what we do and not just looking in one spot saying, oh, didn't find anything and giving up, we do the exact opposite. I mean, we really care and we dig and dig and dig. We're pulling from about 8 or 9 databases right now where we might go to database number 3 and get a clue that leads us to a better clue in database number 7, that with that information we go back to database number 2 and bam, find the person you're looking for. This is a process that is done by people, humans, here in my office. In fact, if you have, when you become a customer, you'll get to know Cheryl and Deb in my office, and you'll learn to like them a lot because they really do care and they don't give up easily. Our submission turnaround. If you get a search request into us by noon Eastern, we'll get the results back to you the same business day. So if you get it into us by noon Eastern on a Thursday, for example, we'll have it back to you by end of business on Thursday. If you get it to us after 12 noon, we'll get it back to you the next business day. So if it came in afternoon on a Friday, you could expect the information on Monday. However, I will tell you this, that in many cases, even when it's submitted after 12, we are able to get it back same day. That submission turnaround is something we're real proud of, again, because we know why you need this information as quickly as possible. And this is a very hands-on, very labor-intensive process, finding these people for you. And so we have to hustle to meet that deadline, and we have only missed it maybe 2 or 3 days out of the last 3 or 4 years, and those days were a result of power failures or outrageous weather and stuff that was just totally beyond our control. So we're very, very proud of that submission turnaround, and I know that it'll help you make more money. Here's a letter from Jerry Rogerson. It says, I appreciate your quick response on the skip trace. After placing my request at your site last night, I received the report at noon today and found Mrs. Breedwater by 6 p.m. at the exact address you gave me. Thank you, and keep up the great work. This is what I'm talking about. Turn it around quickly so that you can dive on it and turn a vacant house into a paycheck. Now, we also, and this is important to understand, we also provide tax roll reports. For example, you have an address of a property, you don't have a name. You are unable to come up with the name, or you are you don't figure that searching the tax rolls is the best use of your time. We will do that for you. So we'll do a tax roll report for you, get you the information that is available on the tax rolls in your community, and then if you'd like, we can take the next step and go ahead and do a skip trace. So we'll get both those searches done in one fell swoop. We also provide nationwide criminal background reports. This becomes very important when it's time to put an occupant into the house. If you're going to rent houses, if you're going to sell them on lease option, sell them on AITD, sell them on land contract, sell them with seller financing, you better darn well do your due diligence on the people you're going to move into your houses. And so for that purpose, we offer nationwide criminal background reports. Don't let anyone move into your house without doing this. And the typical cost, by the way, is $20 to $50 per state. And one state is not enough. We're a transient society. You want a nationwide report. Our fee is $24.95 for a nationwide criminal background report. So again, we're a transient society. The person you're looking at to potentially occupy your house may not have lived in the state you're in for long, and may have come from another state all the way across the country and have a criminal record there. And you may not know about that. So that's why the nationwide search is what you want. Now, we also do tenant eviction screenings. Those are for when you're looking to occupy a house. We'll tell you about this applicant's history as far as eviction and slow pays. We do wants and warrants searches, so maybe they don't have a criminal record, but they happen to be wanted, or there's a warrant out for their arrest right now. That would be something you'd want to know. And we also do employment verification. Each of those is $24.95. However, we do have a tenant search package. This is 5 searches for the price of 3. And in this case, you'll get a skip trace, national criminal, tenant screening, wants and warrants, and employment verification. All 5 of those searches for basically $75. Or if you're a bulk plan customer, 3 debits to your account. So it's 5 searches for the price of 3. Now you might say, well, hold on, why do I want a skip trace report on a potential tenant or applicant? What we have found is that the skip trace, and I didn't mention this, the skip trace not only tells you about their addresses, current and previous, but it tells you how long they lived there. And you know what, even if they didn't own the property, it will tell you their previous addresses and how long they were there. So this is how you can verify what's in the applicant's application is accurate. And what I've found is sometimes an applicant might conveniently forget about a place where they only lived for a few months and not put it on the application, where the skip trace will find that, and maybe you'll determine that in fact they left there on bad terms, and that could be very, very useful for you. Now you might say, gosh, that's kind of a lot of money, $75 or 3 debits. If you're a bulk plan customer, all 5 of these searches are for the cost of 3 are so cheap it's pathetic, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. But you might say, if you're a pay-as-you-go customer and you're paying, for each search in real time, pay for one, get one, pay for one, get one, unlike our bulk plan customers where you pay in advance for a whole bunch of searches and then you get a huge discount. But if you're a pay-as-you-go customer, you might say, well, $75 is kind of a lot to pay for this information. Well, don't forget that you should be charging your applicant. And I realize I'm a little off topic here talking about selling houses on lease option or renting them or whatever, but it's important to understand that this is available to you. You should be charging your applicant an application fee. Any good landlord is going to do their due diligence. They're going to require an application from their applicant, and they're going to charge an application fee. And if your tenant or tenant buyer squawks at the idea of paying an application fee, that might be a very good indication that they're not even worth checking into further. It's kind of what we call a doofus test. Let's test to see if they're a doofus. If they balk at the application fee, then they failed the doofus test. All right, why do you need our service? Well, 1, it'll make you money. 2, the skip trace is the missing link to your home buying business. We've already talked about the importance of spending a little to make a lot. There's just no point in doing tons and tons of research when you can have it done for dirt cheap by us. Let the professionals do what they do best, and after all, the less you do, the more you make. Those are the words of my good friend Ron LeGrand, and I do believe that truer words have never been spoken. The less you do, the more you make. Now, what that doesn't mean is the more you lay around on the couch and watch football, the more you make. That's not what it means at all. What it does mean is the more you delegate stuff so that you can stay focused on negotiating and doing deals, the part that only you can do in your business. The more of the other stuff you delegate and get off your plate so that you can focus on generating revenue, the more you will make. Our service, findtheseller.com, allows you to do exactly that. Exactly that. Okay. So now back to our 5-step process. Step 3 is to strike the deal with the seller. Now, we've located the house either by ourselves or with the use of our bird dog. We've located the seller. We may have gone through some of the motions or got lazy. And by the way, this is a business where lazy pays, because lazy means you're just unwilling to do a bunch of junk. You'd rather have someone else do it for you. And we've located the seller. Now we need to strike the deal. Well, in most cases, these ugly or these vacant houses with no for sale signs on them are going to be junkers. They're going to need repairs. And that makes the negotiating process, striking the deal, very, very easy, because the place is in need of repairs, and it's very unlikely that the seller is motivated to do those repairs, or they'd be done or certainly underway. And this is what, in effect, motivates the seller to sell quickly and at a discount. We are going to be buying at a deep discount. So now we've got to contact this seller. We know that this is the next step. We've got to build rapport. Let me back up. How are we going to contact the seller? Well, we got the skip trace report. It's got a phone number in it. It's got an address in it. Should we call him or should we send him a letter? Well, I guess that's really kind of up to you. What are you comfortable doing? I'm going to pick up the phone and call him. I want to get this thing done. I want to get it nailed, and I certainly want to get it done before someone else does ahead of me. So I'm going to pick up the phone and call him. And in our conversation, I'm going to begin building rapport. I'm going to start the process of, getting to know them a little bit, talking a little bit about their family, and listening carefully to what they say so that I can create rapport. If they mention, oh yeah, my dog. Oh, you have a dog? I have a dog too. What kind of dog you have? And then get off on a little tangent about dogs and get the person to like you, because the bottom line is that people do business with people they like.